Rick Monroe. What up, man?
What's up, brother?
How you feeling?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be able to speak with you today, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I think I got a lot more questions now than I did before. Uh fell into your guys' music.
Yeah,
So let's just get into it.
go for it.
All right, so we're celebrating till the wheels fall off, which is to me sounds like a rock country tune.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, it's like it's a country tune but it's got a bunch of rock players on it, so it's going to become that.
I mean, I was looking at your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Are those all your acts in the where it says the Brotherhood? Like one of them was released a year ago.
No, there's a ton of brotherhoods. So it was just, we didn't really think about the name. It was more like the fact of all these guys that always worked together. We just said, hey, let's call it Brotherhood. And then we went to do that. The guy from the label's like, there's like 15 of these. But I mean, it's a side project for everybody. So I wasn't that concerned, you know what I mean? More
Yeah.
so if it was like our main band name, that would have an issue with it. But since it's just it's something we're just gonna be throwing out songs every once in a while. It's not as, I don't think it was imperative to be like the one and only.
So at what at what point do you guys decide like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this and what do you think? Like how
Well,
did that begin?
yeah, well, it all started, kind of when I first wrote the song with a guy named Arliss Albritton. We demoed it, and he had Craig Wayne Boyd. The kid won The Voice a couple years ago. He sang a duet with me on the track, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I never thought of it being that way. So then years later, I'm out with these guys like Michael Alexander and I always do acoustic runs. Scott Wilson and I will do an acoustic run. Sometimes Scott and Michael will do one just in between all of our touring. And then it's kind of been something we've been doing on and off for years. And I was like, hey, man, why don't we all do this one song together? And then, I had been writing with the guys from Hinder. So I hit up, Marshall, see if he'd want to do it. He was down for it. Scott kind of got behind the, production wheel, and it happened. But these are guys that we all do a big festival called Bratfest pretty much every year in Wisconsin. And that's, Royal Bliss. And that's how we got Neal involved. So it is a brotherhood of a bunch of guys that do a lot of shows throughout the years.
And has country always called to you?
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I had like bleach blonde hair. I was a total hair farmer, man. And I was like 17, 18, my band was like hanging out with, all the rock acts in LA. But I grew up listening to kind of more like singer-songwriter and country. So, I mean, like literally I would go from AC/DC to Garth Brooks, or from Jim Croce to, Waylon Jennings to Metallica. So I have a pretty diverse center of music for me.
Is it more of a, the change of pace when you're doing this project? Is it more therapeutic for you?
Well, I think it's more fun than it's like anything else. I think when you're trying to like create something to make something happen, there's a lot more pressure. Where this is just more like, hey man, we all did our tracks, send them in. It's cool if it flies, great. If not, it's not like my mortgage isn't going to get paid.
Right.
It's whereas it opens up to a lot of bases, I think, and you get to work with your friends. And the coolest thing is we actually all did it in separate places. Like every track was done somewhere separate, and then Scott had to bring it all together.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
How do you guys go out and like do a bar or do um when you guys perform, do you guys perform as a brotherhood?
Well, we
Or is
haven't
this
yet.
just no?
We
Okay.
haven't. We had the man. Here's the sad thing. We had the song recorded, everything 2 years ago, just before COVID, and we were about to do like an opening show for Molly Hatchet or something. Like it was going to be the killer launching of the Brotherhood, and of course everything shut down. So everything has kind of been on hold since then. Like I said, we've done a lot of duos where like Scott and I will go out and do a weekend run. Michael and him are going out and doing a weekend run. I think next week Neal Middleton. I call him Neal Bliss. Neal and Mike will be going out. So they're we do that so far. We're looking to do an actual show. Actually, Bratfest, we're all going to do a show.
Oh, no shit.
Which is cool. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And plus, I just did a track with Buffalo from Nappy Roots. Remember Nappy Roots?
Yeah, dude, I know.
Oh, this track, man. This is my band, Rick Monroe and the Hitmen. We did a track with Buffalo, and it's cool because he's opening for us on the same day that we're opening for Saving Abel and Queensryche. So how's that,
dude?
Nappy Roots, Rick Monroe, Saving Abel, and Queensryche.
It's almost like a freaking dream concert in itself.
For me, it is. I think it's awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about Till the Wheels Fall Off. What was the headspace like? Where were you?
Well, the funny thing is, my brother-in-law always was talk about his friends, like, oh man, that guy, the wheels are coming off him, the wheels are falling off. I always thought that was a funny saying, but then when I went to go write it, Arliss and I thought about, well, because I tour. I mean, especially back before everything slowed down, we were doing 250 dates plus a year. So it was like, I do roll until the wheels come off. And I mean, it was like, what is kind of a fun, party song that's not cliche? And so it was like, I'm just going to roll until the wheels fall off. And I'm just going to go out, I have fun. I go out, I drink, I play music. I live my life through my music. And so, it definitely, that song, I mean, like I said, everybody that sang on it could definitely relate to it. It's kind of like, you don't like to sleep in hotels. You can't sleep on planes. You sleep on the bus, and it's just kind of, I think everybody could relate to the song. So it resonated with everybody.
Fucking man. I like it. I'm a true bred California dude.
Yeah.
I was a punk guy growing up. And
what part of California?
I'm in Ventura right now.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so I've lived in LA and Hollywood weird for a long time. So.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, I don't think I can live out there. That's just too much for me.
Yeah.
Because I can't be around.
I live in Nashville. That's why I live in Nashville.
A lot of my buddies from our music community out here moved to Nashville this past during the pandemic.
Right. Well, because it's still music, and plus nothing. I mean, we've been more open than anybody else, and people are out working, and there is work to be had here. So, I think that's the main thing, So,
Well, recently, like I have Sirius Radio, and you have 5 presets, right? Three of them, or 5 or 6, 3 times 6, 18. And every month, like, I change one of the presets to something else. And my wife was in the car, and she loves country, man. She just grew up everything country. And so she put one of the presets as a country. And I recently just started getting into it. Like, because before I was in California, like, nah, we don't like country. Yeah. And another, like, my grandma used to listen to country, my mom.
Yeah.
And, they're no longer in my life. And it sort of brought like sadness to me.
Yeah.
But now I'm into it. And then when I heard this song, I was like, you know what, dude? I like this song a lot.
Thanks, man.
And so you did a really good job, man. You guys all ought to be proud of yourselves. It's fucking.
Well, like I said, I mean, I give a lot of credit to Scott Wilson, who produced it, because he basically got a bunch of tracks from everybody and was able to put together like, a hell of a track. And it was a lot of fun. And I think he captured the spirit of, the countryside, but still had a lot of rock energy. Because I mean, you've got Royal Bliss, Hinder, Saving Abel, the guitar player from Florida Georgia Line. I mean, it was a pretty good mixture of people.
Are you guys looking to create more like an album?
Yeah, we have other songs. We've been talking about different stuff. We've been working on a couple covers, ideas, and things, and just we definitely want to keep doing them. And and the guys from In Groove and the label group that we're kind of working with to distribute it, they really want to press us to keep doing it. But we're also going to try a bunch of different people. I mean, obviously, I guess the core of it would be Michael Scott and I, because that was kind of who started the thing. But I'm always going to look for other people to try to do it. I know there's a couple projects where, we're looking at a dude from Cypress Hill maybe, or something. I mean, literally, I'm going to try anything and have anybody come and try to do a track. And they're not always going to be like super country. They're going to be kind of however they fall. There'll be a country song that we turn rock, or a rock song we turn country, or whatever.
That's fucking awesome, dude. And that's it really is truly a brotherhood at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I
everything
mean,
involved.
nowadays music isn't as genre specific as it used to be. When I was a kid, you were like a kind of band, that's it, and you kicked everyone else's ass who liked something else. And it was just like, what's wrong with you? And especially if you were in the punk scene or did all that kind of surfer
Mhm.
stuff. I mean, that was your thing. That's what you listened to. You didn't, everybody, you didn't like the metalheads, you didn't like the pop guys. And it's like, it's
Locals
funny.
only.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember being a little kid and hating Tears for Fears. I thought that was the worst band on the planet. Now as an adult, I'm like, wow, those dudes are really amazing. So, but I was totally like, nope, 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 nope. They don't have hair down to their belly. Don't like them. you know. So I mean, so now I think I really enjoy blurring the lines. Like I said, we have Common Ground coming out with Buffalo. We actually March 18th we have a cover of Foo Fighters, Best of You. That's coming out March 18th. Well, everybody says I look like Dave Grohl, so as a joke, we went ahead and cut a Dave Grohl song.
Oh,
So
you
my
do look like
hashtag,
Dave Grohl.
oh, dude. Okay, you ready for this? Great story. I was out touring with Aaron Lewis. We were doing a country tour. And we showed up at Point Fest, which is like in St. Louis. It's a huge metal festival. And I mean, it's like the outside stages had POD, Hailstorm, Hollywood Undead. The inside was like Seven Dust. And it was a big rock festival. But I was on the Jaeger tour, so I had my own bus. I pulled my bus up backstage. I get out of my bus. And it's funny because Aaron's like standing right behind me. This kid comes up and goes, "Oh my God, can I have your autograph?" And I look at Aaron, I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "I didn't know there were country fans here." I'm signing the autograph, and the kid's like, "It's not him. I don't know who this is." And I was like, "What?" And Aaron would never let, like the rest of the tour, man, he never let me live that down. Not Dave Grohl, huh? So I've had people mad at me for not signing. So we went ahead. Now our whole campaign for this single is Not Dave Grohl. But I think we did a cool version of it, though. We did kind of almost this, like it's like a Dwight Yoakam kind of punk country version of it with a shit ton of harmonies. So
that's just fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Dear Jim, hope you
Yeah.
rock till the wheels fall off.
Rick Monroe. I don't know this Rick Monroe guy. Where's Dave Grohl?
Rick Grohl.
Yeah. No, I just signed everything Dave Grohl. So anyways.
That's what I was thinking too. All right. We're gonna we're gonna slow it down a little bit and switch directions of the interview and more faster pace questions and more personal questions, and anything you don't want to answer,
That's fine.
you just pass it through. If you had it, all right, so it's a scenario question. You have the pen, you are the booker, you are going to create the biggest, best show ever, concert. You have all the money in the world. You can pick 4 people, alive or dead. That's how far away in the future we are. Who are you picking?
Garth Brooks, Elvis Costello, maybe Led Zeppelin, and I love it.
All right.
That's just off the top of my head. Because Garth puts on a hell of a show. I'd love to see Zeppelin live, like the original Zeppelin, if I could. Elvis Costello is one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. Don't know why. Something about it was just, maybe it was just where I was in my life. It was the most emotional thing. And Lyle Lovett is just him and his big band are exceptional. So.
Fucking A, dude. All right. Next question. What is your mom or dad's signature dish?
My dad orders food really well. So does my mom.
Fucking A. That's my mom. What are you streaming right now, visually?
Visually, we just watched something that the making of Anna on Netflix.
Oh shit, that's on my list.
Yeah, we just watched that. It's that chick from Ozark, and her accent drives me crazy. And the first part of it's horrible. Kind of, you're like, I'm watching a bad TV movie, but then it actually, because it is a true story, it was worth it. So we just finished watching that. So
it's pretty good.
I thought so. And then of course Vikings, the new Vikings, Valhalla. It's pretty good. It's like Vikings 100 years past, Ragnar Lothbrok and stuff. So it's pretty good.
What is your biggest blunder on stage
Biggest,
was?
biggest blunder. Well, I think very first time I was ever on stage, I was 16 years old. I was playing the Troubadour. Biggest moment of my life. I walked out. I wasn't wearing underwear on and some leather pants. Showed the world.
Oh shit, that's
Oh yeah,
pretty dope.
that was my first time ever on stage. And I kept coming back. I wasn't afraid. I think that had to be like one of the worst experiences, just in the sense of,
I mean, that's like coming to school naked type dream.
basically, yeah. I ran out. I was all excited. I put my foot up on the monitor, thinking I was a little rock star, and rip and hello.
Oh my god, donger everywhere, dude.
Yep. So I think that was definitely, and I mean, maybe there might have been some nights where we probably drank too much, but then I wouldn't remember those, so I really couldn't tell you. I was sponsored by Jaeger for 8 years, so God knows there's probably video somewhere.
I was interviewing Dave King from Flogging Molly a couple days back, and he was telling me that he got so fucked up on Saki before a show that he just started making up lyrics.
Well, I've done that. I mean, I've forgotten lyrics and had to make stuff up. That's the the weirdest thing about that too, and I bet he can say the same thing. You're going along and you're fine, but the moment you worry that you're going to forget a lyric, it gets worse. It compounds, and you start freaking out, like, oh no, what's the next lyric? And then you can't remember anything, and then it just gets terrible. And then I'll walk back to our little, like, we have a talk back mic, and I'll look at one of my guys and be like, oh, the fucking lyrics. And it'll be great because I'll see them going. And I'm like, I mean, it happens. I mean, sometimes you get I mean, I don't want to get on autopilot, but you kind of do when you're doing stuff that you do all the time, and you kind of, you work on things. So yeah, that's the worst. Forgetting lyrics is like, that is just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a musician. I'm a comedian. But
okay, same thing. Like, you're in the middle of a riff and you got a written joke and
yes.
And all of a sudden you're kind of getting sideways on it. You're like, oh wait, no, and you missed your point, and then you're kind of like sitting around the corner going, I'm gonna hit the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I started smoking weed like later in life, like around 30, and I remember like I had a headache and I was like, I'm just gonna get a rip real fast.
Yeah.
And I just forgot everything. Like, I'm just forgetful like a motherfucker, man.
That did remind me. Okay, so the worst thing I ever did on stage is we were out at Sturgis, and we've been partying with the Moonshine Bandits, and we party basically till the sun came up. And then I went to sleep, I thought. And then I woke up and I was sick as a dog. Well, see, I'm allergic to edibles. It's like, especially like a good amount of edibles, I will vomit, and I'm a mess. And no one could figure it out, but I was like, man, I'm super hungover. I'm throwing up. I can't move. I barely got pushed. I literally had to have a guy put a guitar on me and push me out on stage. And I stood there and I barely made it through the set. Like, I was singing everything like super Johnny Cash low, had sunglasses on. My guys were having to finish lines and stuff for me. And I got done. And then the venue was so mad because it was Sturgis. And then our merch guy goes, yeah, well, man, I thought you'd like that edible before you went to bed. And everybody's like, don't give Rick edibles, man.
It's awesome hearing those stories. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, especially in media, things are propped up and you don't really get to see the the real struggle. And that's
everything's sanitized now, and that sucks. And it's weird because you would think with all the internet and all the access that would become less sanitized, we'd get to see people more. But now all you're seeing is the filters of everybody. So you're not even seeing people. You're seeing like a filtered version of the life they want you to see, not the life they're living.
Oh yeah. Fucking A, man, you said it. Who was your first television crush, or person in the public eye crush?
Wow. I'm trying to think. I can't even remember. But obviously, like Baywatch and stuff like that, you're like, what the hell is this? I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, I guess that, or like, I'm trying to think of some movies, like, any of the teen movies when I was a kid. Nobody in particular. I never really had like a super thing like that.
Yeah, mine was Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Ah, all right.
Kelly Kapowski, one of those two.
Oh, what I thought was really cute was Paula Abdul for some reason.
She really was, though, man. She really was.
Yeah. And it's funny because my wife kind of looks like her, so I guess that makes sense.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you. You walk into a room, you wake up out of bed, you walk into a room, it's all white, and you come to find out it's everyone you've ever met in your life. Who's the first person you're looking for and why?
Well, right now it'd probably be my brother, because my brother passed away a couple of years ago, and he was like my best friend, and so that would probably be the first person I'd want to see, because there's so much, like, and then my dad passed right after him, so that's a pretty hard one too right after that, but definitely, yeah, I think I would want to talk to my brother.
That's awesome. It's beautiful.
That's how I know why I'm wearing this hat.
Oh, it's a cancer gimmick?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, our family's definitely fought it.
We've all had to deal with that bitch, but
Are you taking extra precaution because of males in your family?
Yeah, I mean, I live a pretty healthy life in the sense of, I mean, I definitely, work out, eat well. I do a lot of, vitamins. I've been checked for, I've definitely done all my, tests and stuff. So far, so good.
Awesome. And my last question for you, and before I even get to it, I want to say thank you. You've been an amazing dude.
Oh, thank you.
You have some awesome stories. I love your art, and I'm very gracious and appreciative for the time.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this. And make sure people check out, if it comes out, I don't know when this is going to come out, but if March 18th, we've got This Side of You coming out. We're really excited that. I mean, people are going to love that. And then I think within 6 weeks, we got another song. April 15th, Tax Day, we have a song called World Gone Crazy. Because the world is gone crazy.
Yes, it is.
It's like dude, the track is like Aerosmith meets country. It's gonna trip you out. And then we have Common Ground coming out June 3rd. So what we're doing is we're rotating songs like every 5 to 6 weeks. We're putting new songs out because we did a whole album. We're just slowly dispensing them.
That's beautiful, dude. And I can't wait. Like, you're one of the people that I'm excited about to.
Right.
Your guys' music is something I'm very excited to.
I say best. I did say Best of You. I did say Best of You is coming out March 18th, right? Or what did I say? Maybe I did.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
All right. And my last question.
Thank you so much thanks for having me, man. And your questions are pretty epic. I like them.
Thank you.
Where do you come up with those?
You want me to tell you the honest truth?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the truth.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, those were cool. So
the first set of questions are different. Like, those are just me listening to your music, me
right,
reading up on you guys, and then the second half is that. So
yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool.
And then my last question for you is, what is the toughest demon you fight?
Toughest demon, probably procrastination, to be honest with you. I mean, the demon of I'll do it later, sort of. I think that, but then there's also that the demon of I need to achieve more. So I don't know which one's winning, because there's the one that always pushes me to strive more, but there's the one that's like, I'll do that later. So I'm kind of stuck in between those two guys. So, I mean, luckily I've been very fortunate, man. I've been around a lot of substance abuse. I've been sponsored by liquor companies and all kinds of stuff. And I've been fine. I don't have any, addictions. I don't have anything I have to do. I mean, I can go for months without drinking. I can get really drunk for several days. I mean, but I don't, so, I mean, yeah, those are probably the demons inside, the demons I in my own head, more so than anything. But yeah.
And that demon that you speak of lives within me.
Yeah.
Like, in that, the voice of that demon is loud.
Yeah.
You're not good enough, like that. And why aren't you doing stuff? You need to strive hard. Like, that demon just talks in my head. And I'm like,
yeah, I think he's probably one of the biggest demons that talks to everybody. And then on the other side, like I said, you have the other demon that's like, just sit around and chill out, man. Or you can get to that. You'll do that later. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. So you have those two going on in your head, which is a fight. And then you try to just get through doing the stuff you need to do. And I think the one good thing is, and as we talk about this, everybody is feeling the same thing. No matter how much they try to gloss over everything, everyone is freaking out inside. Like, we're like a little child screaming inside of an adult's body, just getting through life. So I think everyone needs to take a step back, recognize that in each other, treat each other that way, and we might have a better world.
My man. Rick Monroe, I mean, we said a lot of things here. I'm definitely gracious and so humbled by you coming on and speaking with me.
Oh man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. We appreciate all the support, and it's awesome. Great interview, man. This is going up in the top tier of interviews, man. Questions were awesome.
Awesome. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip that part out, and I'm gonna say my interview with Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a top 10 interviewer.
Hashtag not Dave Grohl. It looks just like him.
My man. All right, dude. Good luck with everything, and I'll be on the lookout for your the new
song coming out.
song.
And we're just, I mean, like I said, we're gonna keep pushing them, so you'll start seeing a bunch of stuff rolling out. But yeah, the next one's Best of You, and then obviously please everybody go. You can download it, listen to it, stream it, share it, and that's honestly nowadays that's the best thing. So if people they want to get it, it's easy to find. The Brotherhood on Facebook, Brotherhood on Instagram, obviously Rick Monroe and the Hitmen. All those things are tied together. So please, support us by just being present and liking our stuff and letting us know that you're there.
Fucking A. And also, I would love to catch up with you maybe in the summertime.
Oh yeah, man. Well, let's know what's going on. Yeah, man. As things go on, and let's get out west, man. We'll come by and we'll hang out, have a couple beers.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah, man.
Rick Monroe, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
Have a good one.
You too.